Yeah, Rohan, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Thank you so much for confirming, Bhupender. And I'll also start sharing my screen. Let me know when you're able to see this. I am
Yeah,
hopeful you are
Rohan,
able to see my screen now.
yeah, it is visible.
Okay. And can you see the GitHub repository now?
Yeah, Rohan.
Hello. Brilliant. So I have been instructed by the management team that we should be having a look at some of the tools, some of the techniques of what are we going to cover in the training. So in this discussion, I am going to get you a brief of some of the tools, just a little bit of some of the tools of what we are going to cover in the actual training. So you get an idea, you get a gist that, okay, this is what we will be talking about, though there is a lot more depth and a lot many tools that will be covered, but still, just for the sake of demonstration, let's have a look at some of them of what and how are we going to cover them. What you see on your screen is my GitHub repository. So my first question for the day to all of you is, what do you mean by GitHub? Or have you ever been on any of the GitHub repository? Or why do you think do we use GitHub? Anyone? Bhupender, Raghu. What do you mean by GitHub? Why do we use GitHub? I see one more participant has joined. Can you please unmute yourself and name yourself?
Yes, sir. Myself, Pujit Sirsola.
Pujit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mhm. Yes. So have you used GitHub, Pujit?
Nope, sir.
Mm. Okay, so I'll give you a brief of what GitHub is. Though it is an enterprise level platform, it has diversified use cases, but specifically in the security researching community, in the cybersecurity community, we use GitHub for sharing resources like documentations, tools, notes. For that, we use GitHub. So it's an closed source platform wherein we can share the data, we can share the resources. Like here you can see this is my GitHub page wherein there are various repositories. There are two types of repository. One is public repository and one is private repository. All of the public that you see here, these are all of the public repositories, means that anyone can come view this repository, download this repository, and they can suggest the changes, and the repository owner will be approving those changes. That would be the public repository. Next one that we have is the private repository, where only the people who have been invited that come become a collaborator on this, they will be able to view and make changes to the repository. So that is private repository. I am taking you here so that you get an idea on how you have to think, because this is my public repository, this is my GitHub repository, and here you will see a lot of tools that have been made by me for doing the subdomain enumeration, for testing the file upload bypass vulnerability, for doing the subdomain takeover testing, all of those things. So I'm just trying to get you an idea that this is how you have to think to make yourself more efficient as a security researcher. Here, like first you can see on this repository, you will find out a lot of word lists that are associated with the web security, with pen testing, and bug bounty. Here you can see that it has got 102 stars, and this profile has more than 22,000 views globally. I have been maintaining this for more than 4 years now. I keep on updating as I see any of the changes that are required. So here you will see a lot of word lists that we can use. Anyone, what is a word list? What do you mean by a word list. Yes, Raghu, Bhupender. What do you mean by word list? Give it a try. What does the name suggest? Word list. So as the name suggests that it will be a list that will be containing a lot of names, a lot of words. Now, what type of words will it be containing? The words will be related to, the words will be associated to what type of enumeration, what type of information do you want to gather? For example, you are looking for a word list that is associated with subdomain enumeration. So in that situation, it will be containing all of the most common words that the developers can keep for subdomain enumeration or for subdomain. So can any one of you name some of the most common names that you have seen as subdomain names? Subdomains are like we have google.com. So some of the most common names can be www.google.com and beta.google.com. Can anyone of you name any more common subdomains that you have commonly seen? Anyone? Some of the most common subdomain names like login. Anyone? Here, what I have mentioned for you are some of the most common words that the developers will be using for performing, for keeping them as the subdomains. So what we can do as a security researcher, if in case we have to find whether there is any of the such subdomain or not, so we can just take up this word list and we will try this on a target application. Like we have got login as the word, so we will be adding .google.com at the back of it, and then we will be making a request to it. Similarly, sso.google.com, signin.google.com, like this, one by one, we can make a request to all of the subdomains and see if in case they exist. So the list that contains all of the words that are associated with that given enumeration, that is what we will be calling as word list. So depending upon what type of enumeration you want to do, you will be having the word list. Like here you can see, here we have got some of the most common HTTP headers with their expected values. So for the sake of fuzzing, for the sake of enumeration, we will be having this here. So for example, we have got forwarded host, we have got from header, we have got the client IP header, we have got the if match header. These are some of the most common headers that you will usually find, and these will help you in understanding the web application behavior. So like this, we can have the word list. Now the question is that Rohan, how do we use this word list? So for using them, all you need to do is you just need to intercept the request in you know, the Burp suite, and then you can use them. So for example, here we have got this application. This is HackerOne. Has anyone of you heard of HackerOne? What is HackerOne? Anyone? What is HackerOne? Or what do you mean by bug bounty? Have anyone of you heard this term, bug bounty? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
Rohan, we can
Bhupen.
Yeah.
hear you.
Hmm.
Bug bounting is to identify the vulnerabilities of the application or the web page.
Hmm. So what happens after you find out those vulnerabilities?
Uh, for white hat hackers, as of my knowledge, for white hat hackers, they will send a mail to the organizations which application have been vulnerabilities.
Hmm. So what do the black hat hackers have to do with bug bounty?
Uh,
What is the difference between the two? Everyone differentiate between white hat hackers and black hat hackers.
Black hackers, they will bridge, they will attack that website.
So
They will collect all informations from their like financially or non-financial confidential data.
hmm. So how do we differentiate everyone? It's a question for everyone. How do we differentiate if it's a white hat hacker or a black hat hacker? It's all about the intentions. When it comes to the white hat hackers, they will be doing it for the ethical purposes with the permissions of the clients with the full responsibility. But when it comes to the black hat hackers, they will be doing this for the sake of doing bad things, for the offensive approaches, for illegal purposes. That is what we have in the black hat hackers. When it comes to bug bounty is made of two terms. First is bug. Bug in simpler terms, it means that something that is not right, something that is not as expected. And bounty means reward. Usually, we have seen the term bounty in the case of law enforcement agencies where there is someone who has done some cognizable offense and they are on the go. The police or the other law enforcement agencies, they are not able to catch them or they want to catch them. So they will be putting a bounty on the head that if someone tells us the location of this person, this is their photo, we will be rewarding you with $5,000, with $10,000, $50,000, $1 million. If you tell us that are they dead or are they alive, then we will be getting you this reward. That is the meaning of the term bounty. Similarly, from that bounty, we have got this bug bounty inspired, which means that if in case you find out the vulnerabilities and you report them to us responsibly, like I own a web application. If I invite you as an security researcher, as an ethical hacker, that you find out security issues in my application, and depending upon how severe the application is, we will be rewarding you. So if in case the severity is between 1 to 3 on a scale of 10, we will be giving you, let's say, $50. If it is 4, 5, 6 on a scale of 10, then we will be giving you, let's say, $500. If it is 7, 8, we will be giving you $5,000. And if it is 9 or 10, severity on a scale of 10, we will get you $20,000 per vulnerability, or depending upon how does the organization want it. So this is bug bounty where you go find out security issues, report, and then they will be rewarding you. Usually the reward is in terms of money, but in some cases it can also be in terms of goodies like sweatshirts, t-shirts, mobile phones, laptop bags, water bottles, diary, pen, mobile phones, depending upon what the organization can afford. A lot of organizations, they cannot afford to give you any of the reward, so they mention you in their hall of fame. They thank you on their official website or on a dedicated page on their website that we would like to thank all of the following security researchers who found out the security issue in us and they did it responsibly, so we thank them. With the help of hall of fame, you as a professional, you as an individual will be able to claim and redeem the reputation, because when you will be going for the interview or when you have to represent yourself professionally to prove your skills, then you can show them that see here on all of these websites I have got hall of fame. It means that these are my skills, I can find vulnerabilities, I can do the security researching, I can do the pen testing of your products also. So for that reason, we have got a bug bounty that is also a primary source of livelihood for a lot of researchers across the globe. So HackerOne would be one of the platforms wherein the organizations will be registering their products, will be registering their assets, and they will be inviting security researchers across the globe that come and find out security issues in us. And depending upon what type of security issue you find, we will be rewarding you. So for you to be able to find out the bug bounty programs, you go to researchers and then you go to opportunities. There are two types of bug bounty programs. One is public and one is private. In the public bug bounty program, anyone can visit the application and they can start hunting. Private bug bounty program, as the name suggests, it's an invite only program where only the people who have been invited by the organization, they will be joining the program, they will be hunting on it. Can any one of you think of a reason why would any company go for a private bug bounty program? What are the advantages of having a private bug bounty program where you are working on an invite only basis? As an organization, think of it as an organization, think of it as an enterprise. Anyone? Yes, Raghu, give it a try.
They can get multiple resources to work on the project.
But they can get even more resources in public because private is invite only. Public, anyone can come. So why would any organization go for private bug bounty program if they can go for public bug bounty program?
Due to some security reasons, I think.
Security reasons like
It might be exposed to more number of people.
very good. And what more? Yes, Bhupender, what do you think?
Uh, it, it may be more exposure, or it will be the open.
It will be the open.
uh, Project for the as per norms confidentiality.
Hmm.
You need to maintain the confidentiality. So for private, they will go for the as a security. Uh,
Yes, I see. Yes, Bhupender, do you have something more to add to it?
as a security concerns, they will go through the private with trusted persons.
Okay. Yes, I see Muthu has also unmuted himself. Please go ahead, Muthu. Muthu, the question is that we were talking about the private and the public bug bounty programs. And the question is that if in the public bug bounty programs, the organizations, the enterprises, they have the opportunity to invite a lot of security researchers to hunt on their program, why do we have private bug bounty programs that is working on a invite only basis, that only some of the security researchers can look for security issues? The question is that what are the advantages to the organizations when it comes to the private bug bounty programs? That is the question. Muthu, do you have a microphone?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Um, no, I actually know pressed it by mistakenly.
Okay, no problem. Give it a try. What do you think is the advantage?
Maybe the top-notch bug bounty hunters get to access, and then all the top-level or deep technical issues can be hunted or spotted by the experts initially.
Very good. But the same can be achieved in the public bug bounty program also.
Mhm.
To some extent, it is correct that the top-notch researchers, people who are on the global leaderboard, they will be able to hunt on your program. And organizations prefer it when they are small, when the organizations are small, or when their bug bounty program is fresh. So they are not sure of how do we triage the vulnerabilities, how do we respond to the reports, and they are not that confident that our management team, our security team will be able to do all of these things or manage all of these things at scale. So it is advisable for all of the organizations that you first start with a private program. So you, your organization, and your team, it gets a chance to get used to of the process, because every day there will be dozens of reports that will be coming in that you will have to respond to, interact with the bug hunter, collaborate with the developer, release the update, retest this, that, a lot of things needs to be done. So if in case your organizational structure is not mature enough, or if in case your team is not that technically strong, you will not be able to get the best out of the public bug bounty program. So it is advisable that instead of just inviting hundreds of reports every day, you go slow, you start with a private bug bounty program, and then you will be moving forward. So here we have got, these are all of the public bug bounty programs, and one of the programs is for Oppo. As we know, Oppo, one of the major mobile brands in the Asian countries. Here, this is the bug bounty program for Oppo. You will be able to find them here. You can just search for Oppo here, or you can go through the various filters and just find out which of the program works well for you. So here, these are all of the assets that we have in the Oppo bug bounty program. You can see a lot of subdomains are also in scope. This asterisk, this is known as wildcard. It means that all of the subdomains that we have for this domain oppomobile.com, all of them are in scope. So if in case I open this, so here, this is the application oppomobile.com, and when we open it, it opens up Hey tab. Okay, let's see what more do we have. We have got coloros.com. Looks like the application is not available. What about myoppo.com? Let me just put up a filter here to get only the domains www.oppo.com. This is Oppo India. Now the task is that on this application, I need to intercept this request in Burp Suite, and after that interception, I have to add in a lot of headers into the request. That is what I want to do. So let's have a look at how can that be done. I'll just keep this on the one end, and at the other end, I'll be keeping up with the Burp Suite. So this is Burp Suite. Anyone, what is Burp Suite? What does Burp Suite do? Any idea? Any guesses?
Scanner.
Scanner, very good. And what more? What more? What do you mean by Burp Suite? A lot of people also know it by the name Burp Suite. What is Burp Suite? Burp Suite.
Pretty much all the pen tester uses
Hmm.
uh, for scanning, of course, and also to um, controlled attacks like SQL injection, CSS, all sort of attacks.
Hmm. To control
Pen,
the
basically
attacks.
pen testing. Yeah, intruder attacks, repeaters,
Hmm.
decoders, all these things can be done with Burp Suite.
Very good. With the help of Burp Suite is an proxy interception tool. So here you have your browser, like in our example, it is Firefox. Then you have got the server where the request goes. In between them, we will be having Burp Suite. So all of the request that goes from your browser to the server and all of the responses that come from the server to the browser is what we have in the Burp Suite. So Burp Suite will be the proxy interception tool. There are a lot of tabs that we have in Burp Suite. We will be having a look at each one of them in depth, and we will be using Burp Suite extensively. There are three variants of Burp Suite. Now they have added a few more of them like Dast and others, but there are primarily three. One would be the community edition, that is the free edition. Next one would be the professional edition. We have got a scanner here. The scanner that everyone talks about in Burp Suite, that is what we have here. And the next one is the enterprise edition. This is also paid here. So when it comes to the professional edition, this would be the most popular type of Burp Suite that is being used when it comes to the paid editions. Amongst all of the paid editions, this is the most popular of them because it will be getting you the scanner, it will be getting you no throttling when you are doing Burp Suite Intruder, it will be getting you the CSRF POC generator, it will be getting you the Burp Suite collaborator. So there are a lot of features that are not available in the community edition. But I'm assuming here that all of you do not have access to Burp Suite Pro, but you have access to Burp Suite Community. And because you do not have access to Burp Suite Pro, we will be having a look at things on Burp Suite Pro because I have the licensed edition. So we will be having a look at Burp Suite Pro so I can get you a demonstration of the Burp Suite scanner. How do you scan? We will be taking a target application and we will be scanning it just as you will be doing it in the corporate, in the company, on your own project. So just as we do it there, exactly the same steps, we will be having a practical demonstration on a target application. So that is what we will be doing. Here, we will be using Burp Suite for a lot of cases. So what we do, first of all, we will be forwarding the traffic from Firefox, that is our browser, to Burp Suite. So here I have already set up Burp Suite. When I will be discussing Burp Suite with you, I will also help you understand and learn. I will also add it to the documentation. How do you intercept the request in Burp Suite? So here you can see that my proxy is already set up with Burp Suite. I turn on the intercept and then I hit refresh. So here you can see the request that I'm making. That request is being shown here. This is the HTTP request that is going. So when I clicked on /in/smartphone/series Reno/Reno 13 Pro, these are all of the things that are going in the request. These are all of the various HTTP headers. This is the HTTP method that is get. It is used to retrieve the resource. What resource? This is the resource. It could be any image, it could be any page, it could be any file, it could be any font, it could be anything. Then the next HTTP version that is being used, HTTP/1, HTTP/1.1, HTTP/2. Next up we have is the host header. Host header will tell the application server, will tell the server generally that where do we have to redirect this request to, what is the destination. So for that reason, we have this host header here. Next up, we have cookies. These are all of the cookies. Here, these are all of the cookies. Then we have got the user agent header that is being used to retrieve the request. Where is the request coming from? This is the request coming from And then these are the various other participants. Please go ahead. Yes, Vanshita.
Sir, it's HTTPS, right? Then why is it mentioned HTTP by 2 in the get?
No. HTTPS and HTTP/2, these are two different concepts. HTTPS means that the request that is going, it is going over HTTP, but during transit from the browser to the server, the request is encrypted. So the data is traveling over HTTP, but with the transport layer security during transit, it is getting encrypted. It is ensured that the data is not in the clear text. So HTTP plus the encryption becomes HTTPS. The underlying technology, the underlying protocol is always HTTP. It's just that the added encryption makes it HTTPS. So it is always HTTP at the core. On top of it, we have got the security. The S in HTTP stands for secured, which means that here all of the data that will be transmitting, all of the data that will be going back and forth, it will be not in the clear text. So if anyone is sniffing the network, if anyone is in the clear text.
So, sir, for all the domains, it's gonna remain the same. I mean, if all the domains which have HTTPS, we are gonna have the same thing like HTTP by 2 when we
No,
intercept
not
the
it.
traffic.
No, not HTTP by 2. Sometimes it will be HTTP by 1/1.1. As we talk of today, most popularly 1.1 is being used. So gradually the organizations or the applications are moving from 1.1 to 1.2. I suggest that you go through the RFC standards of how do you differentiate between 1.1 and 2. It is like, if I had to be generic, it is more inclined towards what all features do the protocol support. So that would be about it. So if you want, I can share a few additional resources with you to help you understand on why do we have the updates like protocol 1.1 or 2 or 3 or 4, what changes. I can get you the links to the official documentation for such.
Okay.
So here what you see on your screen are the various request headers that go along with the request. Now my task was that I have to send in a lot of HTTP headers, but one by one. So for that, we will be taking help of Burp Suite Intruder. Intruder is the tab in Burp Suite wherein we will be able to send in a lot of requests back to back. So let's right click on this request and send it to Intruder. So here in the intruder, you can see there are various types of attacks that we have. One is sniper, one is battering ram, pitchfork, and cluster bomb. All of them have their own use cases. In the sniper attack, you will be having one position. Now, there are two things that you need to know when it comes to intruder. One is the position marker. So here, for example, I want to add in a new header. So here in this request, I will be adding it as the position. This dollar like symbol that you see here, this is known as position marker here. This is known as position marker. Any of the data that you would want to write, it will be going inside this position marker. Consider this to be the fill in the blanks that we used to have in our schools, colleges, fill in the blanks. So it's like, hello, my name is, and then dash like this. So in place of this dash, you consider this as this position. This is not exactly the dollar symbol, but this is known as the position marker. For your reference in the text pad, I have written dollar, but here this is what the position marker is. You can have n number of position markers here. You can have n number of position markers and you can put them anywhere. You can add them here, you can add them here like this here. Now in this position markers, you will be having payloads. Payloads are the values that will be going inside the position marker. So you have added this as the position marker. Now any of the value that you want to give here, you can simply do it. I'll just clear all of the positions as of now and just add this place as the position, because here what do I want to give? I want to give all of these values, all of these HTTP headers with values. This is what I want to give. So for that, I'll just get this word list. Either I can select all of them and then copy them, or I can click on raw and then I can download this text file. So here, this is what we have. So Control A, copy, and then here we can have it, or I can just do a Control S and then I will be able to save it here, as you can see. So here in this application, a Control S, I will be able to save it directly as a text file, or I can save it, I can then use it. So here Control A, Control C, and here we have added it as the position marker. What I want to do is all of the values that we have, one by one, I want to give them in the position markers and then send. So here we have a Burp suite, and as I mentioned, there are four types of attacks. One is sniper, wherein the Burp suite will be adding the value of that particular payload in one position, and all of the other positions will be remaining as it is. Like here we have got this as one position, and here we have got another position. So what happens in sniper attack is, one at a time, the position, like for the first position, first all of the values will be sent. Then on the second position, all the values will be sent. On the third position, all the other values will be sent. So it is up to us of how do we want to operate. Like here we have battering ram. In battering ram, same payload in all of the positions. Like if you have got 5 positions, the same payload will be going in all of the 5 positions. Next up we have is pitchfork. This is what you use when you have to use dedicated payloads for each of the position. Like in one position, you have to have only phone numbers. So you use numbers there. At one position you need to have only emails, so you use the another position for it. So when you need to have dedicated sets of payloads that you want to give for each of the position, that is when you use pitchfork. And cluster bomb is when you will be wanting to have all of the possible combinations, like with the help of permutation combinations, all of the payloads as they can be capped in all of the positions. That is when we use cluster bomb. Depending upon what type of test case you have, we will be choosing it. For the sake of simplicity, let's move ahead with the sniper attack. We have added this position as the position marker. Now here you can see that there are various types of payloads types that we have. We have got character substitution, we have got case modification, like only the first character becomes uppercase and all of the other ones they become lowercase, like this we can do. Then here we simply want to use a list. I will be just clicking on paste, and all of the values that are got, all of the values that I had copied from my GitHub repository is what I have pasted here. Now what will happen? From the line 1, the value will be taken, it will be put here, and then the request will be made. From here, the value will be taken, and this complete thing will be put in this position, and the request will be made like this. This is the authorization header. This is the cluster client IP. Like this, one by one, all of the values will be taken, and then the request would be made like this. Plus, you can do a lot of processing on the payloads, like basic encoding, decoding, adding some prefix, adding some suffix. That can also be done. If in case you do not want that all of the special characters that you have in this particular payload, they should be encoded, because by default, when you will be making any of the requests with your web browser, they are URL encoded. So here, if in case you do not want that URL encoding to happen, so you will be unchecking this here, and then you click on start attack. Now in the final results table, here you will be able to see a lot of things. So first of all, this is the 0th request, wherein the original request will be sent. We call it the baseline request. So you get an idea that if you would not have sent anything from our end, like no any other a special value from our end, just the normal first request, how will the response be looking like? So this is known as the baseline request. This is an important interview question that in Burp Suite Intruder, what do you mean by the baseline request? So it refers to the 0th request that you have. The first request that you have that does not contain any of the value from the payload list, that is what is known as the baseline request. It is being used for the sake of comparison that this was the baseline request, and now after that all of the things that we are doing, what is happening. So here you can see this is the request number 1 because the counting started from 0. So this would be the request number 1. This is the HTTP status codes. There are 5 groups of status codes: hundreds, 200s, 300s, 400s, 500s. Hundreds starts from 101 or 100 to 199. This would be just informative. The status code 200s that start from 200 to 299, it will be representing the status of how the request was. Usually it refers to when everything works just fine. Usually you see a lot of 200 okay, or you see 201 created. Then we have got 300s. It is usually used for the redirections that goes from 300 to 399. Then next up we have is 400s that goes for the client side errors, like something was missing, like the authorization header is not there. So it says 401 unauthorized, or the access is forbidden. So it says 403 access forbidden. Or if the request was malformed, like it does not contain everything that was required, or it contains something that was not necessary, or that is not required, or that is flagged as not acceptable, unacceptable. That is when you will be having 400 bad requests. Similarly, we have got 500, that is for the server side errors, like you must have seen most commonly, 503 service unavailable when the application is down. So that would be this one. 500s. When we have got the server side errors, we will be having a look at them in detail. Next up, we have got the response received, that how much time did it take to get the response here. So 33, 42, 24, these are all of the time in the milliseconds. So in this many milliseconds, we were able to get the response. Did we had any of the error? No. Was there any of the timeout in the request? No. And this refers to the response length, that when you make a request, how many bytes of data do you get in the response? Again, an important interview question is specifically for the senior level positions when it comes to the application security, that what is the unit of the length that you see in the Burp Suite Intruder results table. Like this is how scrutinized the interview can get. So this length here is shown in bytes. How many bytes do we have in a kilobyte, anyone? How many bytes in a kilobyte? How many bytes in 1 kilobyte? I leave it as an assignment to do some
1000,
research. 1000 or 1024?
1024, 1024,
Or 1000?
1024, sir.
1024. So in 1 kilobyte, we have got 1024 bytes. Okay. So here, this is the length of the response in bytes. So this is the request that we have made here, as you can see. This is the request that we have made. That was the response. So here, the header that we added was, if I am not dead yet. If match asterisk. This is the origin header. This tells that where did the request originate, like this. This is the request that we had sent, and this is the response that we have received here. As you can see, the server being used is Nginx. Some people also call it Nginx here. X IP source. Access control allow origin. This is for the cross origin resource sharing. And this was the response. If you want to know that how will this response look like, if you want to see it in the browser, then you click on render. And now how will this response look like in the browser is what you will be able to see here. Just one thing in mind, that in the render, there will be no JavaScript that will be executed. So this is how it will be looking like in the browser, like this. This is the HTTP response that was being received. Like this, we will be using Burp Suite and Burp Suite Intruder a lot, a lot. Yeah. So all of the requests that you want to send, all of the values that you want to send, Burp Suite has done it for you. See that if you had to do this manually, sending up all of the values one by one, it would have taken so much of time, and then you will also have to analyze the response. But here with the help of Burp Suite Intruder, we were able to automatically make a lot of back-to-back requests, and now things have become easy for you. We can also add in a lot of filters here, like fortunately, here we have got only 200s, but if you want to skip out on any of the specific, status codes that I do not want to see 400s, I do not want to see 500, so you just apply them here. When we will be using them in our upcoming discussions, when we will be requiring them, things will get really interesting for you. Plus, there are a lot of tools that we will be talking about, but please understand that the agenda for discussing the tools is not to help you learn how to use the tools. How to use the tools is easy. You have the documentation, you have the commands, you just copy and paste, give your target name, and it is done. But how to use the tool is not a big deal. What is more important is how the tool is working. That is absolutely necessary. Like here you can see this is one of the tools for subdomain enumeration. This is made by me. I have made this tool, and the agenda of introducing this tool to you is to help you understand that if you are doing something and you see that you are doing something repetitively, there is no brains that you have to use. You are just doing it for the sake of doing it. So you can create your own tools and then you can save your time. So here, this is what I made in 2022, and still it is giving reliable results, though it has not requested or it has not asked for any of the updates yet. So still it is working just fine. A lot of my ex-students in my company also, we are using it. My friends who are doing bug bounty, they are also using it. So it is working just fine. Again, the agenda is to help you understand on how you have to think, how you have to overcome the limitations of the current tools. Just downloading a tool from GitHub or from a website or from any of the other third-party sources, learning how to use it, it is no big deal. Anyone can do it. Even if someone is in a school, they are at a tender age of 10 years, 12 years of age, even they can do it. So how do you distinguish yourself as a professional, as someone who has given so much of time to learning this, from someone who can also copy and paste the commands like you? You distinguish by understanding how the things are operating in the backend, how the things are working behind the picture. So like this, we will be having a detailed discussion on the tools, what they are, how they are working, and then also how do you use them in your day-to-day scenarios and how it is saving your time. But before we go ahead and automate the stuff with the help of tools, we will be learning on how to do these things manually, because I do not want you to be 100% dependent on the tools. If someday the tool stops working, what are you left with? Nothing. You do not know how to do things manually, so how things will work for you? So for that reason, we will be first of all learning on how to do those things manually. We will be doing it specifically the information gathering part, subdomain enumeration, directory enumeration, technology identification. We will be doing it on the live applications. We will be taking this Oppo as a target application, oppo.com. This will be a target application, and just as an actual VAPT person, just as an actual bug bounty hunter would be doing the information gathering on it, on the same level we will be doing it, and this will be our application for performing the information gathering. This will be a target for doing the information gathering, that if I was hired for the VAPT of oppo.com, what would I do? That is what we will be practically learning. That is what I will be sharing And along with that, I will also assign you some of the targets, that all of the things that I have done on this website, you also do this, but I'm hopeful you are able to see my screen now.
Roji, I have a question. Can I ask?
Please go ahead.
Uh, Roji, I understand many of the tools can be automated. I was just wondering, this bug bounty programs, I'm pretty sure they may not be having a big team. At least they may even have the small companies. I mean, at least they may have a good amount of resources at their disposal to work on VAPT. Uh, so when we just do a basic scanning using Burp speed, many of the bugs might not be popping, right? Or they would have already done the basic VAPT testing now.
Well, when it
Yeah.
comes to VAPT, when it comes to the actual bug bounty flow, I'll help you understand of how it works. Think of it at an enterprise level. I am running an organization and I have got around, let's say, 200 subdomains in my asset. So first of all, my internal team of my organization, we will be doing a vulnerability assessment on it. And also this needs to be understand, a lot of people call it VAPT, but it is actually VA and PT. VA is
Hmm.
vulnerability assessment, where we will be having the automated scanner. We run it, it pops out the results. We look for true negatives, false positives, false negatives. We report it to the developers and then get it fixed. Then we will be hiring an external organization who will be doing the penetration testing for it. So in penetration testing, we will be first doing VA and then we will be doing the PT. An external organization will be doing the PT. Usually the organization that does VA does not do the VT does not do the PT, that is penetration testing, for the sake of effectiveness. After that, as I have seen this in the modern day scenarios, once an organization has done PT, after that, again, there will be one more organization that will be doing PT again, for the sake of being absolutely sure that yes, now the things are working fine, though getting the PT done next time is optional. At least once in a quarter, one VA needs to be done and should be done, and at least one in an year, PT needs to be done. Along with that, once the VA and PT has been done, majority of the security issues have been found and fixed. After that, the organizations will be launching their own responsible disclosure programs, wherein they will be inviting security researchers across the globe that come find out security issues in our assets, and then we will be rewarding you. They do not register themselves on platforms like HackerOne, Bugcrowd directly. They first run their own responsible disclosure program. Like maybe they will be adding this file security.txt on their website, where they will be adding the instructions, or on the footer of their website they will be writing about responsible disclosure, or they will write report security issues here, and then they will give you a form to submit. You add in all of the details like steps to reproduce, impact, mitigation, that goes to
Hmm.
the concerned security team, that will be further interacting with the security researcher, that what did you find this, that if any of the other follow-up questions, and then they get the rewards or a thank you. After that, it is launched as a private bug bounty program with the help of HackerOne, Bugcrowd, Integrity. Yes, we have. So when we take help of these bug bounty platforms will also be giving us a triage team. So if I am an enterprise, I have registered myself on hackerone.com. So when you will be reporting a security issue to my program, So first, it will go to the security team of HackerOne. HackerOne will confirm whether this security issue is actually existing. They will check on the severity. And once that is done, then it comes from the HackerOne's triage team to my enterprise team, my core team. Then my core team will be interacting with the developers of my organization that this is the issue, we can fix it this way, that way, or if it is something related to the infrastructure like the cloud environment. So we make necessary changes, then we go back to the bug hunter that we have now fixed it or we require more information, this, that, and this is how it works. So first
Perfect,
VA,
perfect.
then
Hmm.
PT, then it goes as responsible disclosure, then private bug bounty program, and then public bug bounty program. In
Sure.
VA, you have automated scanners. In PT, you
Hmm.
have manual tests being done with highly skilled people, professional, but only a handful of them. Because the more people you add in the team, more budget is required. So that is a constraint. With the help of bug bounty program, the advantage is that you have to pay only after you get the results. If I am
Hmm.
hunting on your program for 1 year, but I have not given you any vulnerability, so you do not have to pay me anything. But when it comes to bug bounty, you cannot rely 100% on bug bounty as an enterprise because it's up to you on how much you are rewarding, how well you are rewarding, how you are managing your program, that you are being efficient, that you are able to attract talent. If in case you are not able to gain the traction, even if in case the vulnerabilities are there out in the wild, because the people are not testing for it, you will not find them. So if you're thinking that I'm running my bug bounty program, why should I be doing the VAPT? People are already doing the continuous testing. Why hire the VA and PT team again? So that is not possible because for various data security standards, for various compliances, it is mandatory that you need to get the VA and PT done at regular intervals. At least once in a quarter is mandatory, but there are other triggers also. Like if there has been a significant change in the product or in the infrastructure, then also the VA needs to be done. If in case you have recently seen a major cyber attack, then also you need to do the VA again. If in case there is a merger or an acquisition that has been done, that will be posing a significant change to infrastructure, then also you need to do the VA again. If in case you have seen that a lot of your current systems are getting vulnerable, then also you need to do the VA again. If there is a vulnerability that is going on in the market, then that a lot of people are getting affected, like
Hmm.
Log4j, Spring for Shell. If you see that a lot of organizations are doing it, so again you need to do the VA. There are a lot of triggers to it. So
Okay, thank
VA,
you, sir. Thank you. Hmm.
this is how it works. So usually when it
Okay.
comes to the bug bounty programs, if you are a bug bounty hunter, assume yourself to be the last person in the complete queue who is doing the security testing on that asset. All of the
Absolutely.
low-hanging vulnerabilities are already done.
Correct, correct,
This
exactly.
is how
Sir,
it works.
Orexis, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Orexis, I see you are using VMware. Which one you actually recommend? Like, Oracle VirtualBox or VMware would be the best option? Because while running, I'm using VirtualBox. While running, at times, or rather most of the time, it goes very slow. So I was just wondering, what would be the best option when it comes to VM?
I prefer VMware because I have been using it for a long time now. I have been using VMware for like more than 8 years now. But there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of cases, specifically when it comes to networking. I have personally seen this because of the configuration of my laptop, my network card, that VMware sometimes gets a bit laggy. So there I need to get this into VirtualBox. But previously it was a challenge that VMware was paid and now VirtualBox is free. But VMware is also free for the personal use. So if you do not have any such requirements that your organization has given you a list that you cannot use these softwares, and VMware is a part of that list, then you may go ahead with VirtualBox. I personally find VMware to be more stable and it is performing better for me. So I suggest that subject to your test cases, you give both of them the hardest of the time, VirtualBox and VMware, and then you choose one for yourself. For me, VMware works best. I have been using it for a long time now. And
Okay,
again, it
got it, sir.
is free for personal
Mm.
use, so even monetary thing is not a challenge.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So here, as we were talking about the tools that we will be discussing. There are a lot of tools that we will be talking about, but just so that you get an idea, here this is that is Subsleuth. We will also be talking about tools like NotPy, like sudomy, like sublister, like DI buster, Foster. Again, the aim of me discussing these tools with you is not to help you learn how to use the tools, but it is more about how this tool is working. That is really important, and that is the mindset that I want to build in you. I just don't want you to become a script kid that you find something on internet, you download, you use, and then you are doing things that is not going to bear any fruits in the longer run or not even in the shorter run. So please don't be that person. We will be learning things in depth. First, we will be learning how do you do the things manually, and then we will be automating it. Learning manually is important so that you can understand that yes, if any day the tool stops working, this is what I have to do. And then once that has been done, we will be automating this. Yes, Vanshita.
Sure. So from tomorrow, we are not gonna be using Burp suite, or we will use Burp suite.
No, tomorrow I need to get your basics right. I need to get your fundamentals strong so that you first learn web on how the web works, then information gathering. So this syllabus has been designed in such a way that exactly as in any of the VA and PT project, you have to do the things. Exactly, we will be doing it that way. First of all, we will be doing the information gathering, then we will be doing the mapping of the application, we will be looking for the vulnerabilities, we will be exploiting the vulnerabilities, then we will be writing the report. So in each of the phases, as in what we require, we will be doing it. So consider this as a simulation that actually in the companies, actually how the projects are being executed. That is what we are learning in the same phase. Burp Suite will be used extensively, but not directly from tomorrow. Everyone has their own place where they would be a right fit. Because I was told that Rohan, we need to demonstrate some of the tools that we will be using. So instead of starting with module one, I wanted to give you a brief of like this. We will be doing the things like here we ran Burp Suite Intruder. So like this, just so that you get an idea. I also wanted to take some time and demonstrate the usage of Subsleuth or any of the other tool. But because we have a time constraint now, so that would be a challenge.
Okay.
But we have like this training is pure practical. I do not want to talk of theory. I do not want to waste your time or my time with the theory. We will be discussing only that much of theory in the live training that is necessary for you to understand the practical. Additional theory that you may want to read, I'll add it in the documentation. I'll add some of the external references. You can read it. I personally do not find it a very good thing that I am just converting this or translating this from English to English, speaking, and then leaving the meeting. I do not want to do that. That is not how all of us operate. We will be discussing theory only that much that is required for you to be able to understand the practical, that is required for you to be able to answer the questions in the interview. And all of the additional theory, I will add it in the documentation that you can read on your own. And if you have any questions or queries, come back to me. Also, one important point, please do not wait for the next session to happen to reach out to me that I have some questions for Rohan. So in the next session, I will ask him. Please don't do that. You already have my number. As and when you have any questions, directly reach out to me over WhatsApp, over call. I do not want to miss out on any of your query because I understand
Uh,
that when you are learning something, you are curious and you would want to get the answers.
Rohanji, sorry to
Hmm.
interrupt. I'm sorry, this is my first class. I missed yesterday's class. Can I request your number again, please?
Hmm. Do you have the contact details of the management team? I'll share the contact number of the management team, and they
हाँ
can
हाँ
then share my
will
number
do
with you. For everyone's
will do
reference, I'll be adding their.
हाँ I'll
Hmm.
follow with it. Thank you sir, thank you.
Here, I have added the management team's phone number in the chat box, and they can help you with the queries, my contact details here. Yes.
Sir, and
Any
one more
questions,
doubt.
queries, anyone? I see that
Sir,
we are running out of time.
sir, we can send to intruder request response both.
No, we send only the request. Response is what you get from the server. So we only send the request to intruder. We intercept the request and then we send it to intruder. Intruder will then be making all of the request, and the request that you are sending, you get the response for it.
Okay.
So you send only the request, not the response. Response will be coming from the server. Yes. Any questions, queries, anyone?